Hello everybody, it's vanburman here. Welcome back to another Steam Deck Untested games. So not quite as interesting as the unsupported ones because I expect the majority of these to work. And we're going to kick things off with State of Mind, which is one I got in a...
All of this just works. It's not, I'm not kidding.
This is one I got in a bundle. Todd always cutting me off. He's going to be doing that a lot today because I always, even though I know it's coming up, yeah, I still carry on talking and starting new sentences. So, State of Mind seems to boot up perfectly fine. I didn't make any changes to it. It ran straight away. All the controls and stuff seem to work. Button prompts are there. No changes required. Performance seems fine as well. Obviously, I only played a very small snippet of it at the beginning. However, from what I did play, I can tell you that it seems to work pretty well, to be honest. And next up, we've got Clownfield 2042. I think it's a joke on Battlefield 2042. The game does run, although the controls technically do work on the WASD with mouse configuration. There is some dips here and there, and you'd probably certainly have to make changes to the sensitivity and also to the key bindings as well. So for that, I've not given it like a it just works metric. It's much more difficult than trying to play on mouse and keyboard, though, I will say that much. Maybe I'm just not very good with a controller. I mean, I'm not brilliant with a mouse either, but the point is, it needs some fine-tuning if this is something that you want to play. So just worth bearing in mind, and you can probably do some stuff with the settings, hopefully, to get a bit more of a steady frame rate, but didn't help me any. So we're going to move on to Dungeon Defenders, which is a game I've put in too many hours, I don't wish to admit. So this ran with the normal settings. I don't actually know if Dungeon Defenders has a Linux mode or not. That'd be interesting. But no, it did boot up eventually.
All of this just works. It's not, I'm not kidding.
I'm not going to count the issue with this with the title screen of it just freezing up a little bit as any issue, because once in the game, it seemed to work pretty fine. I only played a couple of waves, so you know, nothing too strenuous, I suppose. Built some stuff, moved my character around. Everything seemed to function as I would expect. Although I did find myself not really knowing what I was doing, having not played it for many years at this point, despite the fact I did put a lot of hours in previously. But no, it's something you could quite easily play. It's probably, I guess, quite well suited in many regards to this sort of experience. And I can't really think of anything to say either way, to be honest. Yeah, just runs fine. Had to change the resolution when I got in because it was set to, I don't know, some crazy low resolution from the get-go, but there's nothing stopping me from going into the option menu and changing it to the 800p mode, if you like. And it'd probably be, yeah, pretty good experience. I obviously didn't try it online, I only played on single player, but I've not had any other issues with sort of online games working, you know, that sort of issues. Anti-cheat that mumbo jumbo. So next up we've got Child of Light, one of my absolutely all-time favourite games, unfortunately developed by Ubisoft. So it does have an issue where it does update Uplay when you first start the game. It then crashes out with an error, which it doesn't mean anything to me. So the thing I like to do before I start changing Proton stuff, particularly where, you know, something has downloaded, I'll boot it back up and see what happens. And then at that point, it does launch into the Ubisoft Connect, which you're about to see. You're then going to have to log in and allocate your games to your account if you're not done so already. It does take a little bit of time, but eventually it will launch the game. I don't know how on earth it would work if you were just launching it as you know, offline or anything like that. So probably not particularly well is my experience with the Ubisoft stuff. But no, the battle gameplay, general movement stuff seemed to work pretty fine. Once again, a game that totally forgotten how to play, but you know, music's fine, animations are fine, all the overworld stuff is also good as well. So you'd have no hesitation really playing this, other than I think you're probably going to need an internet connection for, at the very least, first time setup, which I guess is to be expected with the Steam Deck anyway, seeing as you're going to need the internet to download your games. one way or the other. Well, yeah, unless you want to take it to the nth degree, but you know what I mean. And next up we've got Crusader Kings II, which I've heard good things about. I've heard that it just works, and in fact
all of this just works. It's not, I'm not kidding.
That was really good timing. And yeah, everything seems to work fine. I was able to click on everything using mouse, the mouse mode. But it's basically as you would expect it to run. You know, you can use a trackpad, or obviously you can change it and use a joystick if you really want to, but yeah, everything was interactable as I would expect it to. You can press like A on the actual face of the device, and that will start the clock rolling, start the speed and everything. Perfectly fine. I don't know what game this is.
All of this just works. It's not, I'm not kidding.
Warhammer 40k Gladius something or other. I got it in a bundle at some point, and yeah, not really knowing what I'm doing, but everything worked. You know, straight away, everything's interactable. The controls worked right out the gate. Once again, it's just more of a mouse click, drag and click, and all that sort of stuff. I'm not really sure. This is like a text-based game, I suppose. Is it 4Xs or something? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, this seems to work fine. I was able to attack stuff. The opening movie AMV thing worked fine as well. I was able to interact with all the menus and everything else. So I imagine if you do know this game and like this game, it should look about right. I didn't make any changes to settings. It was at 800p out the gate, so yeah, can't really have any complaints on this one. And now we've got BNG, which is
all of this just works. It's not, I'm not kidding.
Very similar to Wipeout. The controls do work. It took me a while to work out what buttons did what, and I'm not very good at it. I used to be much better at Wipeout, but anyway, just keep smashing off the sides. Despite my best attempt to use the air brake, yeah, I think I'm a little bit rusty compared to what I was. But it's a great game. It's free as well on Steam. If you want to go and check it out and you were into Wipeout, then I would certainly recommend it. And I think this actually is the final game, and that's because, yeah, this has the most issues. So Dynasty Warriors 8 Extreme Legends Complete Edition, I won't be saying that again, has the issue with the movie section, as a lot of the sort of unsupported games have had. For this reason, it will be, when someone does get around to playing it, it will be classed as unsupported, but a simple fix to that is to use Glorious Egg Roll Proton, and that generally resolves those sort of issues. And that did allow me to get into the game, boot it up, go through all the menus, see the opening movie, etc, etc. Unfortunately, it's not perfect. So the controls do work straight away, even though you don't get the button prompts because it's set up for mouse and keyboard, but the default one does work. There's a fair amount of slowdown when a lot of stuff is going on screen. It's not particularly well optimized, I would say, seeing as I don't think it's actually that much of a strenuous game. But look very closely on the sword effects and you will notice that there is, I'm not sure what the effect is called, very similar to what happens when the movie's on, right? It's like it hasn't got code for the texture, or that the texture is corrupted in some way. You can see it on the edge of the blade there. There's a little bit as well later on where I'm trying to stare at some of the lanterns and the fire, or the flames that are meant to be coming off the lanterns. Same sort of thing. Pretty, not horrendous. I could still play Dynasty Warriors like this, not a problem. But I'm not able to say it's, you know, completely without flaws. And, you know, people will have different tolerances. Some people will expect these games just to work properly and won't want to, you know, have to put up with graphical glitches or stutters and whatnot. But anyway, I played this for a couple more minutes, so I'll just leave you on with this, just so you can have a gander at how this looks. But no, it's been another good episode. I don't think we've had anything that hasn't worked. I think everything worked fine, actually, for the most part. Or there was ways to get it working. So this series generally has been a lot more successful than the unsupported games, and even that has got a pretty high success rate. So this is probably one I'll do another part on at some point. I need to pick the games that I'm going to do for it, but I think maybe a couple more episodes is probably the most that will be done on this particular series. But there's still, yeah, there's loads of games to test. We'll sort of want to move on to playable and the rest of it, because some of them don't actually work very well. Some of them work a lot worse than this. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.